It has been 48 years since that fateful morning when the sirens sounded on Cyprus, alerting the country to attacking Turkish aircraft, and the heavily armed Turkish forces storming the beaches as Turkey unlawfully invaded Cyprus. And to this day, Turkey continues to illegally occupy the north of Cyprus. The status quo in Cyprus is unacceptable. Turkish activity in Varosha is unacceptable. And Turkish human rights violations are unacceptable. I am proud to have been a leader for the Cypriot cause here in Washington, where we stand shoulder to shoulder with Cyprus. We are committed to the Republic of Cyprus's sovereignty. We are committed to a bizonal bicommunal federation. And we are committed to the security of the entire Eastern Mediterranean. To that end, the President of Turkey must halt his provocations immediately. He is a leader who recently attended a gathering in Tehran with the Russian and Iranian presidents, some of the world's worst brutal autocrats. And I do not believe, given the long list of Turkish transgressions, the United States should be transferring F-16 fighter jets to President Erdogan. Fully lifting the outdated U.S. arms export restrictions on Cyprus is a priority. These should be our priorities. One of the reasons I am a strong supporter of deepening security cooperation with the Republic of Cyprus is because Cyprus is a nation that shares our democratic values and principles. So let's keep working together for a future that protects human rights and the rule of law. Let's keep fighting side by side for an Eastern Mediterranean that is safe and secure. And let's keep strengthening our partnership, building bonds between Cyprus and the United States into the 21st century.
This conference is a time to celebrate the achievements of the Cypriot people. It's also a time for deep reflection. Only a few days ago, we solemnly observed the 48th dark anniversary of the Turkish invasion of Cyprus. 48 years of occupation is 48 years too long for all Cypriots. And today, we must do everything we can to end this unacceptable situation. I've walked the Green Line in Cyprus. I've witnessed the deep scar that continues to divide this beautiful and historic island. And I'm committed to ending the Turkish occupation and bringing about a just solution to the ongoing conflict. I will continue to push for a Cyprus settlement based on the bizonal, bicommunal approach that reflects our common values of freedom, dignity, and international law. And while we advance that cause, we must also redouble our efforts to strengthen the bilateral relationship between the United States and the Republic of Cyprus. The good news is that our relationship has never been stronger. Cyprus is a key strategic partner in the region, bolstering security and serving as a bridge between the United States and the Eastern Mediterranean. I've been encouraging closer cooperation between the United States and Cyprus for years, and I strongly urge the Biden administration to lift the U.S. arms embargo on Cyprus. I helped lead the fight to stop the sale of F-35s to Turkey when it deployed the Russian S-400 system, and I will continue to oppose the sale of advanced weapon systems to Turkey, including more F-16s, unless it provides assurances that it will not deploy these systems against our faithful allies and partners, and meets important conditions to ensure the security of its neighbors. Each of the priorities I've discussed are intended to promote democracy, international law, human rights, peace, and respect for sovereignty.
First, I'd like to congratulate Philip Kristoffer, Mike Manitos, and all of our Cypriot and Hellenic friends from around the world as you convene for this annual gathering of the Cyprus diaspora. Under the rule of Erdogan, Turkey has become an ever-worsening disruptive force in the Eastern Mediterranean. Erdogan threatens NATO ally Greece, continues its illegal occupation of the north of Cyprus, and funds terrorists, most notably Hamas. Erdogan also plays a double game with Putin's Russia and has purchased Russian S-400 missile systems. Turkey's acquisition of the F-16s and modernization kits would also pose serious co-location risks given Turkey's continued insistence on maintaining the Russian S-400 system, the very reason we expelled Turkey from the even more advanced F-35 jet program. Furthermore, the sale of F-16s to Turkey would violate U.S. law, since the Turkish military procurement industry, the SSB, is sanctioned by the Countering America's Adversary Through Sanctions Act. These grave concerns make the entire notion of F-16 modernization and sale unconscionable.
We're convening here today just under a week after the 48th anniversary of Turkey's invasion and occupation of northern Cyprus. Nearly 5 decades have passed since Turkey illegally invaded Cyprus, uprooting tens of thousands of Greek Cypriots from their homes, destroying religious and cultural sites, and forcibly removing families from their own community. Last week, I introduced a bipartisan amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act to stop President Biden from selling F-16s to Turkey and to put in place needed congressional oversight to ensure that Turkey doesn't use F-16s to intimidate or violate the sovereignty of another nation. It's deeply concerning to me and many in Congress that President Biden supports moving forward with the sale to Turkey, while Turkey continues to ignore Cyprus's ownership of its exclusive economic zone and continues to violate the sovereignty of Greece. Actions speak louder than words, and without any meaningful change on Turkey's part, I will continue working to prevent F-16s or other American-made weapons from getting to Erdogan's hands. As a member of the Hellenic community, I am committed to strengthening and defending the United States alliance with Cyprus. I will continue to work with my colleagues in Congress and my friends in the community toward our common goal, a Cyprus that is united, at peace, and free.
One thing I would like to see is moving past just the partial lifting of the arms embargo that we were able to secure over the last couple of years towards a full repeal of that arms embargo, which I think is warranted and justified by Cyprus and by what a critical ally it is and our expectations of Cyprus as we move forward. So we will continue to press for that. In addition, we're pushing back against Turkey's provocative and aggressive behavior in the region. It's a threat to Greece, it's a threat to Cyprus, it's a threat to all we stand for in that region. So we're going to continue to hold the line there and make it very clear that for trusted allies like Greece and Cyprus, the United States is ready to stand strong. But for allies that do not adhere to international standards and cannot be trusted like Turkey, we're going to push back.
The Republic of Cyprus has been a steadfast ally, and Cypriots of all backgrounds deserve an end to the senseless division of their homeland. Ending the illegal occupation of Cyprus would safeguard the country's independence while amplifying its bridge-building capacity, further stabilizing and bringing peace to the region, of which will make Cyprus an even better ally. The progress of political and energy cooperation between Cyprus, Greece, Israel, and the EU continues to grow. I've been a very vocal champion of strengthening partnerships between the United States and its most critical allies in the Eastern Mediterranean. U.S. involvement in regional energy pursuits improves defense cooperation with regional states and makes clear that Congress will not turn a blind eye to Turkey's regional aggression or pursuit of policies that threaten U.S. interests or that of our partners. We need to continue to hold Turkey accountable, especially as Turkey continues to sabotage reunification efforts and destabilize the region through aggressive actions.
I want to thank you all for participating this year, and especially want to commend the leadership of Philip Cristopher, who's just done so much galvanizing Cypriot Americans in support of Cyprus to meet the many challenges the country faces head-on. Cyprus has a long history of steadfastly providing critical support to the United States during times of crisis. As we continue to see uncertainty in Europe due to the destabilization efforts of Russia and Turkey, it is more important than ever to focus on how we can strengthen the United States-Cyprus relationship. In recent years, joint military exercises between the U.S. and Cyprus have increased, and there has been substantial investment by the United States on cybersecurity cooperation and the construction of permanent facilities to support the U.S. capabilities in the Eastern Mediterranean. but we must continue to look for opportunities to further enhance our strategic collaboration on security, defense, energy, and anti-terrorism efforts. It's vitally important that the United States policies and resources reflect our interest in the region, particularly those aligned with the legal status of Varosha, Cyprus's exclusive economic zones, and the Republic as a whole, to ensure the United States continues to provide ample support to this strategic partner. This includes blocking the transfer of F-16 fighter jets to Turkey, which will only embolden Erdogan's efforts to undermine regional sovereignty and sabotage legitimate efforts to solve the Cyprus problem. And we must oppose any attempt by Erdogan to annex Turkish-occupied Cyprus.
48 years ago this week, on July 20th, 1974, the Turkish military invaded the Republic of Cyprus in direct violation of the Charter of the United Nations and international law. To this day, there's been no accountability for the deaths, displacement, and destruction caused by this illegal invasion and occupation. I urge the President, Secretary Blinken, and Congress to join calls for the immediate removal of Turkish troops, the return of property to rightful owners, and the reunification of Cyprus. Today, Cyprus, Greece, and other nations in the Eastern Mediterranean face more aggression and continued threats from Turkey under President Erdogan, who has threatened exclusive economic zones, ordered repeated military flyovers over the Greek islands, and undermines NATO sanctions on Russia and U.S. operations in Syria.
The Cypriot diaspora in the United States is the reason why Congress is focused on the issues that impact Cyprus and the Eastern Mediterranean region. As a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, I've been critical of our country's relationship with Turkey, and I've worked to end the illegal occupation of Cyprus. In 2019, Congress passed my amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act to lift the arms embargo against Cyprus. I've also worked closely with Congressman Deutsch and Bilirakis and Senator Menendez to pass the Eastern Mediterranean Security and Energy Partnership Act into law to strengthen the alliance between the United States, Greece, Israel, and Cyprus. While we've made great progress on the U.S.-Cyprus bilateral relationship and on Eastern Mediterranean cooperation, Turkey is closing in on a half-century of illegally occupying Cyprus. We will redouble our efforts to reunify Cyprus. I look forward to continuing to work with you in the years ahead to build on the progress we've made together.